So we've had weeks, maybe close to a month, that I hadn't been able to really lope out here in my big arena. We've had a lot of rain this month, which is normally a wet month for us, but the humidity stayed high in between rains and it just never dried. Now it finally, the rain quit Saturday around noon, and today's Monday and it's already dry enough to ride in. But when it quit raining, the humidity went down. So we finally getting some drier weather, not just rain-wise, but humidity-wise. I think over just in the last week, I think we've had close to 8 inches. So it's nice to be out here in the sun riding on a cool day. So I'm working Bob. Before the rain started, I was working on his lope. He steers nice, he handles nice, but he was giving me trouble picking up one particular lead. And I know that's from all the years of him being used for lessons. I just have to get him accustomed to picking up both leads when I ask. So that's what I want to work on today. And in the meantime, I'll talk about some other things I'm doing with him. Because he was used for lessons for several years, kids have been kind of hanging on his face a little bit. So I have to get him softer in the face to round his back. And that's also going to help the lead issue, among other things. So as I'm riding him around, this is my triangle port bit I have on him. Just kind of setting my hand with a little bit of contact and then bumping, squeezing and lifting with my spurs. I'll use a combination of a little bit of a bump, a little bit of a squeeze and lift, depending on what's going on, what he's doing. Right there, his head went up to look at the mail truck going by. That was bump. Where when I'm asking him to round up, it's more squeeze. He has a pretty bumpy trot, but when he's rounded and his back is lifted, it's not as bad. A little bit of shoulder control, move a shoulder to the outside. Now I'm going to ask him to lope off in the left lead. Move a shoulder to the outside, right leg back. Now as we're loping off, I'm going to do basically the same thing. Asking him to lift his back, get off of my hands. I don't do this seesaw thing that you see a lot of people do. I'm going to set my contact, set my hands, and then I'm going to squeeze with my legs, asking to come off of my hands with lifting his back. I do want the pole to drop a little and his nose to come in, but not from working his face with my hands. I want it to happen by him lifting his back. A little bit of left rein, left leg there. Push that shoulder out. There we go. Soften his back up. He's a lot different than training say a 3 or 4 year old. He's 15, so I'm working with a little bit different body type. He was ridden a lot as a young horse. I had him in training during his 3 and 4 year old year, so he was worked a lot then. Just needs to be kind of reminded of it because he really wasn't. He was ridden, but not worked for correctness in between. So now, let's go with a loose rein. Looking at the camera. Just kind of ride him around on the loose rein. Let's see what his body does. See how he's looked to the outside, shoulder fell in, pushes the shoulders out. I'm bumping with my left leg, making contact with my left hand. We're not going that way. I'd rather him not lope through that black mud. It's a little slippery, but where we ended up. He needs to hold his head to the left, but the head is not really the problem. Shoulder falling that way is the problem. Fix the shoulder, fix the head, building the strength. Like I said, I ain't loped him in a month maybe, what little time I had, I was able to lope. Somebody else was a higher priority than him. It just, I couldn't make it happen. So anyways, get his body where it needs to be and turn him loose. Get his body where it needs to be and turn it loose. So if you saw me showing Hank and I was running the circles, his shoulders stayed outside, body was bent in the circle that I was going in, and he worked pretty nice. That you need that frame to have correct transitions, big, fast, small, slow, and you need that frame for other things. Right here with Bob, it's a lot about building that strength up. And also a little bit about just kind of general self-discipline, because he hasn't had to do this in a while. Since I started giving him the immune builder, it's been a horse that I felt like could go back in training and actually do pretty good. So that's what I'm working towards. Let's do a stop up here. We'll roll back to the right and look the other way. Whoa. And we'll look to the right. Same thing. Right rein, a little bit of right leg. And you notice when I'm taking hold of his face to fix his shoulder, I'm not pulling out here, I'm pulling up. Because I'm not trying to necessarily pull his head that way. I'm trying to use the head to help his shoulder. We're close to the camera there. So then when I get it right, turn him loose. If he starts to fall a little bit, I can use a little bit of right leg and see if that alone helps. If not, go to my hand, a little bit of left leg right there. Ride with my seat, lift his back. A little bit of hand that way to lift the shoulder. A little bit of hand up and left. Didn't work. So now we're going to take hold of his face. Right there, I took a hold of his face, and I more drove him forward with both legs instead of just the right to get engagement forward and more go forward and let the rein help with the bend, because he's wanting to go to the other end of the arena. Drive forward. If you saw the video where I was working with the Percherons that didn't want to steer, kind of similar. When they didn't want to steer, I just kicked and went forward. And because of sending forward, there, that was better. That put the body in a better position to get the steering. I'll be using Bob to start Ace. Ace is back. He was a long yearling, almost 2-year-old when I had him before. Halter breaking him. He's back to be started under saddle now. And I'll have Bob ponying them when we're doing that. But waiting for my covering rein to get a little bit drier, just in case Ace jumps or something. I wouldn't want him to slip and fall with a rider on him and create a bad experience. What you see? Now, I don't know what he saw. Kind of funny, because he used to never spook at anything. Now he's brighter and alert. He will. Now I'm gonna be ready now. If he looks, I'm going to take a hold of him. Say, hey, I'm in charge. Let's go over here. Be an active rider. Notice I didn't not go there. We went right back where he shot away from before. And I was just a little more active rider. Probably a squirrel or something over there. I like that he's alert now. Before, when he was dull before I started with the immune builder, he never really saw anything, alerted in anything. And now I got something nice. Now I got something I can work with. Now let's cut my circle in half right here. I have to kind of fix his body in the same place every time. Let's see, by cutting the circle in half, let's see if we make the steering better right here. Oh, he inverted. Let's cut the circle in half again. I did a blog article not too long ago about your horse reacting to you or you reacting to your horse. And your horse should always be reacting to you. If your horse does something and you're reacting to him, you're not being the leader that horse needs. But like when he shied over here, and when I took a hold of his face the next time we come around, I wasn't really reacting to him. I was setting an action, I was performing an action to give him something to react to. Big difference. If I would have been reacting to him, then we just wouldn't have come over here a second time. We would have went and circled somewhere else. Big difference there. Your horse should be, there we go. Lost a little frame right there. Your horse should always be reacting to you. You should never be reacting to your horse. You should be an active rider, not a passenger. And put some thought into how you handle actions like that your horse does. Are you reacting? Are you just clamping and holding on? Or are you being a rider and giving your horse something to react to? Big difference. And that difference, in a lot of cases, is the difference between having a good horse, a nice horse, or making your horse not worried, not confident, and a little spooky about you. Builds your relationship, builds your leadership in your horse, that your horse respects you as the leader, makes for a nice relationship. As for a stop here, whoa. Notice I didn't pull back, I tilted his head, helped him to come to a stop with his back end. If I would have pulled, he would have got stiff in the front end. Come this way. There we go. So I'll walk him cool a little bit, give him a chance to catch his breath. Not breathing all that heavy, but he is a little bit. So there's an update on Bob, and also some other pretty helpful bits of information about your relationship with your horse and how to get a good relationship. So this is Bob. I'll put a link up here to the other videos I've done of him on YouTube. Until next time, thank you for watching.